just need that red. I need that red to show up again. One red cardinal on the left and a blue J on the right. Red and blue. This is the South Central Grad 73. Long time no see. My goal was to represent the colors red and blue together. Believe me, that is a red, cherry red bird to be on the left. It's just not that old yet to get those full colors. And then on the right you have the blue Jay, obviously mature enough, but still not fully grown. Now, when I came up in the early 70s, there was nothing to do regarding red and blue. At those South Central Los Angeles junior high schools in the late 60s even, people were just friends. We didn't hear about a new upcoming gang recognized by colors till much later. Gangs to us meant the Slawsons, the Gladiators, the Businessmen. You've heard these names before. No glorification, but I will tell you what. Growing up in South Central as a young boy, elementary school age, around these particular members, and some just being who they were as individuals. The cool people in the neighborhood, the brothers with the processed hair. And yes, our exposure was with, should I even talk about these brothers? But when you're young, you don't know the whole scope of what they represent, but pimps too. But you learn fast because as I think about a pimp we had back in those days, Big Jim. Big Jim. Big Jim. He preyed on a little girl in the neighborhood. She was only 16. Her name was, what was her name? Janice. Let's call her Janice. And she was a home girl. In the strictest sense, she stayed in the house. But right there on 54th in Vermont, there's that alley on the southeast corner. And Janice stayed in the house facing 54th. And the alley had all the hipsters all the time. And there she was, trapped inside. But Big Jim decided to talk to her, so he did. Eventually, 16-year-old Janice left the comfort confines of her house. Months later, Big Jim the pimp was suspected of being responsible on some level, had something to do with, just by association. Janice came up dead. She was run over by a car. We're talking late 60s, before attending these middle schools and high schools where later blue represented something other than pretty birds and red represented something more than the color on that bird to the right. My goal here in this natural setting is to see the togetherness of birds of a feather flocking together, enjoying life. So as you see, the blue comes around, the red comes around. Nature's a beautiful thing. You can learn a lot just by watching it. There's a harmony, a responsibility. Humans, on the other hand, Humans, on the other hand, have issues. But you know what? If you know why, you have half the battle half the battle won. Understand that there are social, economic reasons, societal reasons, family reasons for us having such deep tribalism and self-degradation. Some may call it self-hate. You don't come into the world thinking that those of your same bloodline and family are enemies. Some traditions we learn need to be relinquished. We need to give them up. Some of our ways, some of our language, some of our behaviors. Hey, you know what? We're looking at 8-something. This is a good topic, something to pick up on later. It's been a long day working remotely here, indoors. And maybe one day I'll see the red and blue coming together here outdoors at the same area, at the same bird feeder, whether it's left side or right side. I did catch a couple of shots today. They weren't eating at the same feeder. But I'm going to keep the steady cam and dare open the sliding door. As I bid farewell and keeping the steady cam. Here we go. South Central Grad 73. There goes. You know, one thing, that red bird is very shy. It's probably the shyest bird of all, and it's one of the bigger ones. But it's a very shy bird. Let me do a pan for you. South Central Grad 73 in South Carolina. Recording South Carolina and all points in between. You know my saying, I wish everyone from South Central and other inner cities throughout the United States have the opportunity to enjoy nature.